The cursor blinks. A single, rhythmic pulse in the blue-white glare of the monitor. It's the only thing in the room with a heartbeat. Mine seems to have stopped. My husband's laptop is warm on my lap, a betrayal in itself. I was only looking for a flight confirmation, a mundane detail for a trip we were supposed to take together. A trip to celebrate 10 years. But my finger slipped, a stray click on his sent folder, and the world tilted on its axis. The subject line is so simple, so innocuous. Here you go, the recipient's name, Chloe, is a phantom I've heard him mention, a junior colleague he's mentoring. The attachment is a single file. My stomach clenches as I click it. It's a spreadsheet. And as it loads, row by agonizing row, the air is sucked from my lungs. It's my life's work. My black book. Every client I've bled for over the last 15 years. Not just their names and numbers. It's the notes. The personal details. Mrs. Gable's son's severe peanut allergy. Mr. Sterling's secret fondness for single malt scotch from a specific distillery. The anniversary of the Chen's daughter's death. A date I mark every year to send flowers. No card. Just a quiet acknowledgement of shared humanity. These aren't business contacts. These are relationships. These are pieces of my soul, cataloged and weaponized. And he just gave them away. I scroll down, emotion detached from my conscious mind, and see the final line of his email to her. Everything you need to get started, sweetheart. Time to show the old guard how it's done, the old guard. That's me. The world just stops. The quiet in our house is suddenly deafening, a thick, heavy blanket of silence where the comfortable hum of a shared life used to be. If you've ever felt that kind of silence, that moment where everything you thought was real just evaporates, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps more than you know. Just yesterday, this room was home. The charcoal gray walls I picked out, the worn leather armchair where he reads, the framed photos on the mantelpiece, a gallery of a life I thought was mine. Us on our wedding day, his smile so wide and genuine it hurts to look at now. Us on a boat in Italy, my head on his shoulder, the sun in my eyes. A timeline of a lie. Now, every object in this room feels alien, props on a stage set for a play I didn't know I was in. The business, Aura Designs, wasn't just a job. It was my first child, my magnum opus. I started it in a cramped spare bedroom with a secondhand laptop and a pot of coffee that was always half full of desperation and half full of dreams. I was the one who worked 18-hour days, who missed birthdays and holidays, who poured every ounce of my being into building something from nothing. I built it on a simple premise, that in a world of transactions, relationships still mattered. I didn't just design spaces for my clients. I learned their lives. I understood their needs before they did. That was my edge. That was my magic. Marcus came into the picture when Aura was just starting to find its feet. He was charming, supportive, my biggest cheerleader. He'd bring me dinner at the office when I was working late, rubbing my shoulders and whispering, "You're going to take over the world." Alara, he celebrated every contract, every success, as if it were his own. When we got married, it felt like the final, perfect piece of the puzzle falling into place. We were a team. He worked in finance, a steady, respectable job that he claimed gave him the stability to support my chaotic, creative life. I see now how he framed it. He was the rock. I was the unpredictable tide. As Aura grew, so did the subtle shifts in his support. The pride in his eyes was slowly replaced by something else, something I couldn't name at the time. A glint of resentment. The compliments became backhanded. Another late night saving the world, one throw pillow at a time, he'd say with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. My client list, which he once called my Rolodex of legends, became your little fan club. He started making jokes at dinner parties about being Mr. Alara Vance, the man behind the woman. Everyone would laugh, and I would laugh along, feeling a prickle of unease. I told myself I was being sensitive, that he was just proud in his own way. The house we're in now, we bought it 2 years ago. It was my success that secured the mortgage. My earnings that paid for the renovations, the Italian marble in the kitchen, the landscaped garden. He called it our dream house. He picked out the wine fridge. He took credit for the architectural plans I spent months agonizing over. He was so good at weaving himself into my success, at positioning himself as the co-author of my life, that I never stopped to question it. I was too busy working, too busy building our future. A future that, I see now, he was planning to dismantle and hand over to someone else. The date on the email is from 6 weeks ago. 6 weeks. For 6 weeks, he has been sitting across from me at the dinner table, asking about my day. For 6 weeks, he has kissed me goodnight, his lips tasting of lies. He has listened to me stress about a difficult client, all the while knowing he had already given that client's deepest vulnerabilities to his mistress. The coldness of it is what truly breaks me. It's not a crime of passion, an impulsive mistake. It's a calculated assassination. He didn't just cheat on me. He plotted the destruction of the very thing that defined me. He looked at my life's work, the beautiful, intricate tapestry I had woven with trust and care, and saw nothing but a commodity to be stolen and gifted to his new woman. The word sweetheart from his email burns behind my eyes. It's a casual, intimate, devastatingly cruel nail in the coffin of our marriage. He was building her a career on the bones of mine. The name Chloe finally clicks into place. Chloe Jennings. A few months ago, a new design firm popped up on my radar. Elysian Interiors. Their branding was sleek, modern, and eerily similar to my own. I dismissed it as a coincidence, a rookie designer trying to emulate the market leader. Now I see. Elysian.
Oha.
He was even mocking me with the name. He was sitting in my house, eating the food I paid for, sleeping in my bed, and orchestrating my downfall. The sheer audacity of it is breathtaking. The betrayal isn't a single stab wound. It's 1,000 tiny cuts. Each memory, each shared laugh, each whispered, "I love you," is now tainted, rewritten as a scene from a horror movie. I close the laptop, the soft click echoing in the silent room. I feel nothing. Not rage, not sorrow. Just a profound, terrifying emptiness. The floor has fallen away, and I am in a freefall. My first instinct is primal. A white-hot geyser of rage that demands I storm into the living room, throw the laptop at his head, and scream until my throat is raw. I want to see his face when the mask of the loving husband shatters. I want him to know that I know. But some cold, hard part of my brain, the part that closed deals and navigated boardroom ambushes, takes over. It clamps down on the hysteria with an iron grip. What would screaming accomplish? He'd deny it. He'd call me crazy, paranoid. He'd twist it, manipulate the narrative until I was the villain for violating his privacy. He's good at that. He's had years of practice.
No.
This requires something other than fire. It requires ice. I place the laptop back on his desk, exactly as I found it. My hands are shaking, but my movements are precise. I wipe the trackpad with the sleeve of my sweater. I leave no trace. Knowledge is power, but only when the other person doesn't know you have it. I walk back to our bedroom, the hallway feeling a mile long. The photos on the wall mock me. I climb into bed, the sheets on his side cold and empty. He's downstairs, watching some late-night game, oblivious. I lie there, staring into the darkness, my body rigid. Sleep is a distant country I will not be visiting tonight. The betrayal is a physical entity in a room, a heavy presence pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. Every creak of the house, every distant siren, is amplified. The life I knew is over. The man I loved is a stranger, a monster wearing a familiar face. And he is sleeping under my roof. The next morning, I move on autopilot. I make coffee. I shower. I get dressed. I put on my makeup like armor, drawing on a face that looks like Alara Vance, the successful, put-together owner of Aura Designs. He comes into the kitchen, yawning, and kisses my cheek. The casual intimacy of the gesture makes my skin crawl. "Morning, babe," he says, his voice thick with sleep. "You're up early." I force a smile that feels like cracking plaster. Big day. Trying to land the Sterling account, it's a lie. I landed the Sterling account 6 years ago. He doesn't even notice. "That's my girl," he says, patting my arm condescendingly. Go get him at the office. The air feels different. The familiar buzz of creativity now sounds like a death rattle. My team greets me with their usual bright smiles, and I feel like a fraud. I lock myself in my office, the glass walls feeling more like a cage than a window to my empire. I pull up the website for Elysian Interiors. It's all there. The aesthetic is a diluted, cheaper version of my own. But the portfolio is what makes my blood run cold. There are 3 projects featured. I recognize them all. They are concepts I pitched and lost in the last month. Pitches I only discussed with my senior team and with Marcus. He had listened to me vent my frustrations over losing those bids, patting my back and saying, "Their loss, honey." He wasn't comforting me. He was collecting data. A sick, creeping paranoia begins to snake its way into my thoughts. Who on my team is talking? Who is leaking information? Then the chilling truth settles in. It's not my team. It's him. He has access to my server. My cloud. He must. The list wasn't a one-time gift. It was a key. He gave her the key to my entire kingdom. The first call comes at 10:15 a.m. The caller ID flashes Mrs. Gable. My heart plummets. Eleanor Gable has been with me since the beginning. I designed her first home, her daughter's nursery, her husband's study. She's more than a client. She's a friend. Her voice on the phone is strained, full of a false brightness that I immediately recognize as guilt. "Ilara, my dear," she begins, "I'm so sorry to do this on such short notice, but we're going to have to put the lake house project on hold." I keep my own voice steady, a Herculean effort. "Oh, is everything all right, Eleanor?" There's a pause. Yes, everything is fine. It's just we've had another offer. A very competitive one. From a new firm, Elysian Interiors. They have such a fresh perspective. The words are a slap in the face. Chloe is barely out of design school. Her freshest perspective is the one she stole from my files. But I can't say that. I can't scream. She's working with my husband who is trying to destroy me. So I swallow the bile rising in my throat and give her the professional out she's looking for. "I understand, Eleanor. Of course, you have to do what's best for you." Her relief is palpable. "Thank you for being so understanding, Ilara." When the call ends, I place the receiver down so gently it feels like it might shatter. Then I lean forward and let my head fall onto the cool, polished surface of my desk. The dam breaks. A single, silent tear traces a path down my temple. It's starting. He's not just coming for my business. He's erasing my relationships. He's poisoning the wells I spent a lifetime digging. The week that follows is a slow-motion nightmare. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. 2 more clients cancel. One is a major corporate account I've held for a decade. The reason is always the same, a more competitive offer from Elysian. Chloe isn't just underbidding me. She's using my own strategies against me. She's sending my clients their favorite single malt scotch, referencing their kids' soccer teams, using the intimate details from my notes to create a false sense of familiarity. It's a violation of the deepest trust. She's a parrot, repeating words she doesn't understand, mimicking gestures of care that she has no right to use. Every cancellation email, every apologetic phone call, is another twist of the knife. And through it all, Marcus plays the part of the concerned husband perfectly. He comes home each night with a furrowed brow. "How was your day?" he asks, his voice dripping with faux sympathy. I give him clipped, one-word answers. "Fine, stressful," he nods sagely. "It's a tough market out there right now. This new firm, Elysian, they're really shaking things up, huh?" I hear they're practically giving work away. The way he says it, so casually, so smugly, makes me want to claw his eyes out. He is watching me bleed out, and he is enjoying the show. He's not just my saboteur, he's my audience. My nights are sleepless. I lie next to him, feeling the warmth of his body, and all I can think about is the venom he's hiding. I feel like I'm going insane, living this double life, pretending everything is normal while my world is being systematically dismantled. My team is starting to notice. There's a nervous energy in the office. Whispers fall silent when I walk past. They see the contracts disappearing. They feel the ground shifting beneath their feet. They look at me for answers, for reassurance, and I have none to give. I feel like a captain on a sinking ship, pretending the gushing water is just a minor leak. I am failing them. I am failing myself. The pressure is immense, a physical weight that makes my shoulders ache and my head pound. He has isolated me, trapped me in a prison of my own success, and is now burning it down with me inside. I hit rock bottom on a rainy Tuesday night. I'm alone in the office, long after my team has gone home. The building is silent except for the rhythmic drumming of rain against the glass walls of my office. On my desk are 3 more cancellation notices that came in that afternoon. My inbox is a graveyard of dead deals and broken promises. I stare at the numbers on my screen, the red ink bleeding across the profit and loss statement. We're hemorrhaging money. At this rate, I won't make payroll next month. The thought of telling my team, the people who have trusted me, who have dedicated their careers to my vision, that it's over is unbearable. I feel a wave of nausea. I've never been a quitter. I've faced down recessions, impossible clients, ruthless competitors. But this is different. This attack is coming from the inside. How can you fight an enemy who sleeps in your bed? I lean back in my chair, the leather groaning in protest, and close my eyes. I feel the fight draining out of me, replaced by a cold, heavy blanket of despair. Maybe Marcus is right. Maybe it's time to give up. Sell the company for scraps, salvage what little I can, and just disappear. Let him and his new protege have the ruins. Just as I'm about to surrender to the darkness, a memory surfaces unbidden. It's from years ago. I was in a tense negotiation with Arthur Sterling, a notoriously difficult, old money titan of industry. He was grilling me, testing my limits, pushing me to my breaking point. I held my ground, not with aggression, but with quiet conviction. At the end of the meeting, after he had finally agreed to my terms, he leaned forward, his shrewd eyes locking onto mine. He didn't smile. Arthur Sterling never smiled. But he said something I never forgot. "You're a shark in a tailored suit, Vance," he'd grumbled, a hint of respect in his gravelly voice. "But that's not why I'm hiring you. I'm hiring you because you're the only one who remembered my late wife loved peonies. Your strength isn't in your designs. It's in the trust. Don't ever forget that the memory is like a lightning strike in the dark. Trust. That's it. That's the one thing they can't steal. Marcus and Chloe have my data, my methods, my client list. They can mimic my work, but they can't replicate the years of genuine connection. They can't fake the trust one earned, one peony at a time. A new feeling begins to smolder in the pit of my stomach, burning through the fog of despair. It's not hope. It's something colder, sharper. It's rage, honed to a razor's edge. This is no longer about survival. This isn't about saving my business. This is about reclaiming my life. He wanted a war. He's about to get one. My counteroffensive begins not with a bang, but with a quiet, methodical purge. I hire a cybersecurity firm under the guise of a routine system upgrade. I need to know how deep the rot goes. While they work, I start fighting back on the only front I have left, the personal one. I start calling the clients I've lost. I don't try to win them back. I don't badmouth Elysian. I simply thank them for their years of business and wish them well. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, to swallow my pride and my pain and offer grace to those who have abandoned me. But it's a strategic move. It keeps the door open. It reminds them of the professional they've always known. The response is telling. Some are relieved, eager to get off the phone. But others, like Mrs. Gable, sound hesitant.
Guilty.
"I do hope we can work together again someday, Alara," she says, and for the first time, I believe she means it. The fight is far from over. Chloe, clearly being coached by Marcus, is relentless. They are not just competing, they are actively sabotaging. A rumor starts circulating that Aura Designs is in financial trouble, that we're on the verge of bankruptcy. It's a classic corporate raiding tactic, designed to spook my remaining clients and scare off new ones. My suppliers start calling, asking for payment upfront. My bank manager requests a meeting to review my credit lines, The walls are closing in, and Marcus is at home, watching it all unfold with a look of detached concern that is more infuriating than open hostility. One evening, he finds me poring over spreadsheets at the dining room table, the numbers a sea of red. He puts his hand on my shoulder. I have to fight the urge to flinch. "You're working too hard," he says, his voice soft. Maybe it's time to consider an exit strategy. Sell the business before it's worth nothing. We could use the money. Travel. Start fresh. Maybe I could finally get that little consulting firm off the ground. The audacity of it steals my breath. He wants me to sell my dying company so he can use the proceeds to fund his own life, a life with her. He is a vulture, circling, waiting for me to die so he can pick my bones clean. I look up at him, and for a second, I let the mask slip. I let him see the cold fury in my eyes. "Aura Designs is not for sale," I say, my voice dangerously quiet. He recoils slightly, surprised by my tone. He holds up his hands in a gesture of surrender. Okay. Just a thought. I'm just worried about you, but I saw it. In that split second, I saw the flicker of frustration in his eyes. My failure is taking too long. The cybersecurity report comes back, and it's worse than I ever imagined. It's not just a cloud breach. It's a keylogger, a piece of spyware installed directly onto my laptop. It captures every keystroke, every password, every email I write. He hasn't just been looking at my files, he's been reading my thoughts in real time. The report pinpoints the installation date. 3 months ago. The day after my birthday. I remember that day. He gave me a new laptop, a top-of-the-line model. He said my old one was slowing me down. He insisted on setting it up for me, to make sure all your files transfer over seamlessly. He didn't just give me a gift. He gave me a Trojan horse. He has been watching my every move, anticipating my every strategy. He's seen my panicked emails to my accountant, my desperate proposals to new clients, my private notes about my team's morale. The feeling of violation is absolute. My office, my sanctuary, has been a surveillance state. My private thoughts have been an open book to my greatest enemy. This whole time, I've been playing chess against an opponent who can see all my pieces. But the report gives me something else. It gives me proof. Hard, undeniable, digital evidence. It's a weapon. And I finally know how to use it. That night, a new kind of calm settles over me. The emotional storm has passed. I am now the eye of the hurricane, a place of quiet, focused, and utterly ruthless clarity. The game is about to change. The final piece of the puzzle clicks into place on a Friday night. Marcus comes home late, smelling of expensive whiskey and victory. He's flushed, cocky, practically buzzing with energy. He slings his jacket over a chair and pulls me into a theatrical hug. "You are looking at a man who is celebrating," he announces, kissing me sloppily. I remain perfectly still in his arms, a statue of cold compliance. "Celebrating what?" I ask, my voice flat. Her firm, landed a massive account today. The Chun Textiles deal. It's a game changer for them. My blood turns to ice. Chun Textiles. I had been in the final stages of negotiation with Mr. Chen for weeks. It was a complex deal, with a very specific net 90 payment clause that I had only drafted 2 days ago. A detail that existed only on my new, compromised laptop. There is no conceivable way he could know that detail unless he had read the draft. He let it slip. In his drunken arrogance, he made a mistake. He confirmed the keylogger. He confirmed the real-time spying. He just handed me the loaded gun. I pull away from him slowly. "That's great," I say, my voice a perfect imitation of wifely support. "I'm so happy for her," he beams, completely oblivious. "She's a real shark, that one." Learning from the best, I guess. He winks at me, and the condescension is so thick I could choke on it. He thinks he's won. He thinks I'm a beaten dog, waiting to be put out of my misery. He has no idea that I'm a wolf who has just caught the scent of blood. That night, I don't sleep. I sit in the dark of my home office, the city lights twinkling outside my window like a million distant, unfeeling stars. The plan begins to form in my mind, not as a desperate scramble, but as a beautiful, intricate piece of architecture. It's a trap constructed with the very tools he used against me. His arrogance, his greed, and his unwavering belief in my weakness. He thinks this is a game of business. I'm about to teach him that it's a game of survival, and I am the one who writes the rules. The trap is named Project Nightingale. It's a phantom, a ghost project I create from scratch over a single, feverish weekend. On my compromised laptop, I create a new folder right on the desktop where I know he won't be able to resist looking. Inside, I build a world of fiction so detailed, so convincing, it would fool anyone. I invent a reclusive tech billionaire, a Mr. Alistair Finch, who is supposedly launching a chain of ultra-exclusive, private wellness clubs across the globe. I draft a creative brief that is an irresistible combination of massive budgets, complete artistic freedom, and global prestige. It's every designer's fantasy project. I forge emails between myself and a fictitious assistant to Mr. Finch using a dummy email account. I create complex financial projections, showing a profit margin so obscene it would make a venture capitalist weep. I spend hours designing a mood board, a stunning visual tapestry that is just close enough to my signature style to be believable, but with a new, groundbreaking twist. The final touch, the linchpin of the entire trap, is a non-disclosure agreement. It's a dense, intimidating document filled with legalese. Buried deep within the boilerplate on page 17 is the poison pill, a leaked information penalty clause. It stipulates that if any proprietary concepts from the pitch are used by a competing firm, the leaking party, in this case, Aura Designs, would be entitled to 100% of the competitor's first-year revenue from any resulting contract. It's an absurd, legally dubious clause. But it looks official. And to a greedy amateur, it would look like a gold mine they just had to get to first. With the bait set, I move to the second phase of my plan. I start making calls. Not to lawyers, not yet. To my people. My real clients. The ones who are still with me, and even a few who left, like Mrs. Gable. I don't start with accusations. I start with a confession. Eleanor, I say, my voice quiet but steady. I need to tell you something, and I need to ask you to just listen. My company and my life have been the target of a malicious and deeply personal attack. I lay it all out. The stolen list. The affair. The keylogger on my laptop. The systematic campaign to destroy me, orchestrated by my own husband. There is a long, stunned silence on the other end of the line. Then Mrs. Gable's voice, thick with emotion. Oh, Ilara. That monster. I had a feeling something was wrong. That young woman, she knew things. Things only you would know one by one, I tell them. Mr. Chin. The board of the corporate account I'd lost. And finally, Arthur Sterling. He listens to the entire story without interruption. When I finish, the only sound is his gruff breathing. The boy's a snake, he finally rumbles. So, what are you going to do about it, Vance?
Whine?
Or bite back? I'm going to bite back, I say. But I need your help. I explain the final step. I schedule a conference call for Wednesday at 3 p.m. A strategic alignment meeting, I call it. I ask every single one of them to be there. I tell them I will present them with irrefutable proof, and then I will ask for their trust one last time. They all agree without hesitation. The board is set. The pieces are in motion. All I have to do now is wait for the rat to take the cheese. I don't have to wait long. On Tuesday morning, I accidentally leave my laptop open on the dining room table when I go to take a shower. From the top of the stairs, I watch him. He glances around, thinks he's alone, and walks over to the table. His eyes immediately fix on the folder labeled Project Nightingale. I see the flicker of greed in his eyes, the slight, smug curl of his lip. He spends less than 5 minutes at the computer, but it's enough. He's seen it. He's taken the bait. The rest of the day, he is jumpy, agitated, barely able to contain his excitement. He's a child on Christmas morning who has just peeked at his presents. That night, I have my cybersecurity expert do a final sweep. The logs show it all. Marcus's IP address accessed the Project Nightingale folder at 8:17 a.m. He downloaded every single file. The trap is sprung. While I was at work, I had also arranged for a private security consultant to do a physical sweep of my home office. It was a long shot, a gut feeling based on his slip-up about the Chin deal. The consultant found it in less than 10 minutes. It wasn't just a keylogger. It was a listening device. A tiny, sophisticated bug hidden inside the base of the expensive fountain pen Marcus had given me for our anniversary. A pen that sat on my desk every single day. He hadn't just been reading my words. He had been listening to my conversations, my private phone calls, my sighs of frustration. The consultant activates a recording function. I now have a live feed to my own betrayal. The next morning, Wednesday, the day of the conference call, the bug pays off. I hear him on the phone with Chloe. His voice is giddy, triumphant. "It's unbelievable, sweetheart," he's saying. She just left it on her desktop. A project called Nightingale. Some secret billionaire client. The numbers are insane. She's so arrogant, so sloppy. She has no idea what's coming. Chloe's voice is tinny but clear. So we use her pitch? We can just change the name and present it as ours. Exactly, Marcus laughs. By the time she figures out what happened, we'll have the contract signed. We'll be on a plane to Monaco, and she'll be liquidating her assets. He thinks he's a genius. He thinks he's the master of the universe. He has no idea, he's just reading from a script I wrote for him. At 2:55 p.m., I sit down at my desk for the conference call. My heart is hammering against my ribs, but my hands are steady. One by one, their faces pop up on the screen. Mrs. Gable, Mr. Chen, the entire board of my former corporate client, and finally, the stern, imposing face of Arthur Sterling. They're all there. My jury. I take a deep breath and begin. "Thank you all for being here," I say, my voice clear and strong. As I explained, my company has been the victim of corporate espionage. Today, I'm going to show you who is responsible. I share my screen. I don't show them the fake project. I show them the cybersecurity report. I show them the logs of Marcus's IP address downloading the Nightingale files. Then I play the recording. I play the entire conversation between Marcus and Chloe. The room is dead silent. I can see the shock, the disgust, the fury on their faces as they listen to my husband laugh about my downfall. When the recording ends, Arthur Sterling speaks, his voice like rolling thunder. "The man is a parasite. What do you need from us, Vance?" And now for the final act. "One moment," I say. I pick up my phone. I have a group text pre-written, ready to go to a special list of numbers, the personal cell phones of every person on this call. I hit send. Miles away, in a sleek, rented boardroom, Marcus and Chloe are probably in the middle of their presentation to the non-existent Mr. Finch. Marcus's phone, sitting on the table, buzzes. He glances at it, annoyed by the interruption. He sees a text from Arthur Sterling, then another from Mrs. Gable, then another from the CEO of the corporate firm. His phone starts to vibrate uncontrollably, a cascade of notifications. One after another, from every powerful client I have ever had. The message is the same from all of them. "We know what you did. All future communication will be through our legal teams. You are blocked." I can picture his face. The confident smirk faltering. The color draining away. The slow, dawning horror as he realizes the trap he's walked into. The realization that every bridge is not just burned, but nuked from orbit. He looks up from his phone, at Chloe, his mind struggling to process the scale of his miscalculation. He doesn't rage. He doesn't panic. He just freezes. A man whose entire world has evaporated in the space of 30 seconds. Back on my screen, my own phone lights up. It's an email from Arthur Sterling. The subject line, "New contract." The body of the email contains only 7 words. "Let's get back to work. We're all with you." Then another email pings. And another. And another. Contracts. Renewals. Messages of support. It's a flood. A tidal wave of loyalty and vindication. I didn't just stop the bleeding. I've just performed a transfusion. My company isn't just saved. It's stronger than it has ever been. I look at the faces of my clients, my allies on the screen, and for the first time in months, I smile. A real, genuine smile. The war is over. And I have won. The aftermath is swift and surgically precise. The divorce is uncontested. Marcus, faced with a mountain of digital and audio evidence of fraud, conspiracy, and infidelity, has no ground to stand on. He signs everything my lawyer puts in front of him. He walks away with nothing but his clothes and the car he drove. The house, the assets, the life built on my back, they all remain with me. Legally, Chloe and her sham company, Elysian Interiors, are obliterated. Arthur Sterling, true to his word, unleashes his legal team. They, along with 2 other clients from the call, file a lawsuit for corporate espionage and intellectual property theft. The poison pill clause from my fake NDA, while not legally binding in the way I wrote it, becomes the centerpiece of the lawsuit, a clear demonstration of their intent to defraud. They are buried in litigation, their reputations in the industry reduced to ash. I hear through the grapevine that they are forced to declare bankruptcy. They lose everything. For a time, I feel a grim satisfaction in this. I watch their world burn, just as they tried to burn mine. But the feeling doesn't last. It leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Vengeance is a hollow victory. Rebuilding is where the real work begins. I sell the big house. It's too full of ghosts. I move into a smaller place, a loft downtown with high ceilings and a wall of windows that floods the space with morning light. I rebrand my company. Aura Designs becomes Vance and Company, a new name for a new beginning. I don't rehire everyone. I keep my team small, lean, and fiercely loyal. The ones who weathered the storm with me. Our new office is half the size of the old one, but it's twice as bright. There are no glass walls. We work at a large, communal table, the energy of collaboration and creativity crackling in the air. The work that comes in is better than ever. The clients who came back with a renewed sense of loyalty that goes beyond contracts and invoices. It's a partnership forged in fire. We are no longer just designers and clients. We are allies. There are still quiet moments, usually late at night, when the ghosts of the past whisper to me. The memory of his betrayal is a scar that will never fully fade. I lost a decade of my life to a lie. I lost a man I thought I knew. But in losing him, I found a strength I never knew I possessed. I learned the difference between the fragile architecture of a shared life and the unbreakable foundation of self-worth. I learned that trust, once shattered, can be rebuilt, but it must be rebuilt on solid ground. I am not the same woman I was. I am harder, but I am also wiser. I am more cautious, but I am also more free. He tried to steal my work, my legacy. But he failed to understand that my legacy was never in the spreadsheets or the client lists. It was in my resilience. It was in my ability to take the ruins of a life and build something new, something stronger, something that was truly, entirely my own. It's funny, the things we think will break us are often the things that remake us. The fire doesn't just destroy, it forges. If this story hit close to home, I'd love to hear your version in the comments. Thanks for being here. Subscribing helps bring more of these stories to life.